What's up guys, Presley Yong here, back on the video. Today we're going to talk about the iPad Pro 10.5 inch 2017 model, and should you buy it in 2021. And I bought this device back in 2018. Actually reached 2017. I bought in 2018. I think it's mid 2018. And also during that time, Apple also released 2018 iPad Pro. But I think I like the 10.5 inch again, and the latest full bezel 11-inch iPad Pro. And this is actually the best design back in 2017. And today we're gonna talk about what's good about it and what's bad about it, and whether should you buy this right now in 2021. Let's go. So obviously this iPad Pro is actually aluminum in design. It's also same as the latest model, also using aluminum, but aluminum on the latest model is actually worse design because it actually has bend gauge, which actually break easily. This actually has a best structure design on the iPad. So let's talk about the outside exterior before we talk about interior software on the device. So obviously on this iPad you can see this iPad, the Apple logo. So this is actually the space gray model they are bought back in 2018. You can see we have a 12 megapixel camera, which actually same as the iPhone 7. Yes, flash. You have a volume up down button. There's no silent button on the iPad. You have to use the inside the software to silent on the iPad. And it's using the Lightning, not USB Type C. It has quad speakers on the top and at the bottom. We're impressed to see a 2017 iPad Pro. This is actually the last iPad Pro to have a headphone jack. If you want the headphone jack back, it's only available on the budget iPad right now. You have a power button, and that's about it. You have a connector for those old smart keyboard to use to connect the iPad Pro. And in front we have a home button, and this is a 10.5 inch display with a 7 megapixel camera in front. And when you press the home button, it actually is unlocked. So before we talk about more, I gotta do not disturb it, put the volume down to prevent any interruption on notification. So this device is actually supported on iPadOS 14, and right now currently is run on iOS 14.7 beta 1, and of course today Apple released iPadOS 14.6. It's to the public as well. And now the iPad Pro also supported. And this is actually 10.5 inch. Now, before I talk about the software more, let's talk about what hardware is using. It's using the A10X Fusion chip, better than the A10 on the iPhone 7. And it still runs 4 GB of RAM, same goes to 12.9 inch 2017 iPad Pro. And it has the storage of 64 GB, 256 and 512 GB model. And this model they are using on is 64 GB, and it actually lasts very well. I still got 18.42 GB on my iPad left since I installed many things on it. I do want this one. I think I didn't use it much. And the software app, as I told you, it's up to iPadOS 14.6. Now the reason I'm doing this video is whether should you buy it. Now right now, this is actually a good deal in 2021 if you want to buy it. It's actually same as the old iPad Air back in 2019, where it has a 10.5 inch, but however the problem is that this is actually a better deal compared to the iPad Air, because right now this device supports 120 Hz refresh rate on this device, but certain apps doesn't support it, but certain apps actually support it, which is actually very great. And the iPad Pro, if you want to compare to the budget iPad, the budget iPad actually is running on A12 Bionic. Obviously, that thing actually beats this device. But when you compare about the refresh rate, this device actually beats the budget iPad. So, when you want to buy this iPad Pro 2017, you need to consider storage, which storage you're supposed to get it. I recommend people to get 256 GB on the iPad compared to 64. And every time when you go to the iPad, mostly you go to settings, and then you go to software update, and make sure your iPad is always up to date before you use the device. So the iPad is 14.7. Now compared to the iPad and the iPhone, the difference between the two software is that one's running on iPadOS, the other device runs on iOS on the iPad. And should you buy it in 2021? I mean, if you want to buy, you can go ahead on Amazon, on eBay if you can find one. Right now, it is not selling on Apple's website. You can get refurbished model on the 10.5-inch iPad Pro 2017. And of course, Apple also released the M1 iPad Pro, but this device actually still looks great in 2021 since it has a small bezel back in 2017. Even the 9.7 cannot catch up. Apple also released 10.3-inch, but feels that the bezel is still a bit bigger compared to the 10.5-inch on this device. This is actually better and smoother compared to iPad Air 3 back in 2019 when they introduced the same 10.5-inch, but the camera, they lacked the camera design, which used 8 megapixel camera, and the front using 5 megapixel. But this iPad Pro has 7 megapixel and 12 megapixel camera, which is actually used the iPhone 7 and all this. Oops. And then the camera is great. It's 12 megapixel camera when you actually use it, and that's what I like about this iPad Pro. So of course you can buy it right now. It's a good deal. 2 years later it might not, but right now you get it, you still can get now 2 to 3 years of support on this iPad Pro. And that's about all the review on the iPad Pro 2017 in 2021 review. And be sure to subscribe to our channel, turn on notification bell, and of course I'll see you in the next video.